What's up, everybody? This is Mock Draft HQ, and we here just mid-season. Figure we ain't been back on in a while. Just rap about some of the NFL storylines. What's going on with our squads because we out of it, but it's draft implications is in the mix. So we gotta talk about that shit. Got Romy Rome with us, New York Giants extraordinaire. What's happening?
What's up, everybody?
And today, y'all will face the Washington football team on the field of battle at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Well, regarding this New York team, we should win today, but the performance of our quarterback,
oh my goodness,
we're going to get this win or not, because we have a quarterback who is too up and down.
Look at Sean. We need a win for the Jets. It's fucked up.
And we got no Golden Tate. Golden Tate decided to stay home because he ain't getting the ball.
What happened with him? They were talking about that shit. What happened with him?
His wife got on social media, started talking all this and that. He ain't getting the ball enough. He ain't getting this and that.
Oh.
Somebody on his social media was saying the same thing, and he liked that stuff. So him and Joe Judge and whatever you want, Coach Judge, they had some words, and basically he got held out of practice. So when they traveled to Washington, today, he didn't travel with the team. So all the Giant fans basically sit back saying, well, Dave Gettleman, you got rid of OBJ because of, you wanting a smooth locker room.
Right.
And you replaced him with Golden Tate. Gave him $30 million too, mind you. And now
Golden Tate, $30 million?
Gave Golden Tate $30 million.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh shit.
And now he's not even traveling with us. He's not injured, mind you. Don't got no, this and that. Don't got the C word.
Right.
And he ain't traveling with us. So I'm like, there you go. Just we'll get into Gettleman later.
Yeah. I mean, that's bad, but that's minuscule compared to our mess, bro. I mean, Adam Gase, that motherfucker is Ohami, he told me, because he's a Dolphins fan. He said, bro, that motherfucker sucks. I was like, nah, man, Peyton Manning said, nah, he sucks, man. He said, you gonna find out. And man, it's like this last season, at least we was competitive for a while. It was like the first 5 games, we lost. We went 0-5 last year, but we was in the game, but we lost. This year it's like not only we 0-8, but we getting pissed on every week. I mean, doors blown off every week, no effort or whatever. But I've always said, if you're going to lose, fucking lose. Don't mess around and win a game or 2 and then fuck your draft position up, because this year the prize is huge. You understand? So Sam Darnold, we gave it a good try, but you got to go, my brother. If we fuck around, get Trevor Lawrence. What was you gonna say, Ron?
I was saying that experiment looked like that might be over with.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and here's my opinion on him. I think he's not a bad quarterback. Yes, we don't have much to play with, but you look at other places. Gardner Minshew, he's kind of trending down now, but the Jaguars ain't had nothing. He was still effective. You know what I mean? This motherfucker here is like, sometimes he just doesn't look like he has a clue, and sometimes he looks like fantastic. But it's just, I think if he went somewhere with a proper quarterback guy, because we don't even have a quarterbacks coach. You know what I mean? We don't have a quarterbacks coach. You know what I mean? Adam Gase got rid of. If he went somewhere like, I think Pittsburgh, or I think the perfect spot for him would be Indianapolis. He get with Frank Reich and they groom him a little bit. I think he'll be fine. But just with us, it's just not the right situation, But for us to be successful going forward, one, Adam Gase has to be fired.
No doubt. Has to
be. I mean, that ain't even, which he will. If you go 0-16, it ain't no way you can justify keeping him. So I ain't too worried about that. 2, we got to get the right guy to replace him. I mean, I'll get to my list of candidates later on, but
all right.
And then 3, we got to lock down this number 1 pick. All 3 are doable. I was a little bit concerned about this Monday night game that we might fuck around and win it. But when they said Donald not gonna play and Flacco coming in, that's a guaranteed L right there, man. What I'm saying? So Yeah, so Monday night they got the Skins or the Washington football team today. We got the New England Patriots Monday night, who haven't looked that great, but I think Cam's pride, Sean Taylor, the Giants taking the L today. We'll see. We'll see. So Sean, why don't you come on with? I'm gonna send you an invite in case you sitting there. You can come on with us. Where my phone at? So talk about Gettleman for a second while I forward. Oh no, he got it here in the group, I think. Yeah, so go ahead and talk about Gettleman.
First of all, I wasn't too crazy about the pick of Gettleman as the GM anyway.
Right.
Steve Smith Sr. had warned us about him.
Oh my goodness.
Network. He's like, Giant fans, I'm warning you about Dave Gettleman. And sure enough, he was right. I've seen some worse GMs, but he's right up there. This is a dude that just he tries to act like he's more intelligent than anybody else.
He sure does.
Not Dan Brian. The Daniel Jones pick. It's clearly obvious he was trying to do that Tom Brady effect. I'm gonna find a gem, that nobody had never even heard of. Because I ain't even know who the hell Daniel Jones was. Never heard of him.
I had heard of him.
A lot of us wanted Josh Allen, the defensive end, that year for that draft.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, because we do need,
pass rush. Yeah.
Next thing you know, they come up to the podium and say Daniel Jones. I'm like, who?
That's the worst feeling.
He came from Duke. And I'm like, Duke is not a school that you go to
for
a quarterback. And in saying that, for us Giant fans, when you talk about Duke, that brings back memories of Dave Brown. Because Dave Brown,
he was from Duke, yeah.
And you know how that era went. So I'm like, man. And then, of course, you heard Mr. Gettleman. Well, I fell in love with him because he was a professional quarterback. I'm like, this dude, man, this annoying Boston accent, and he wants to sit there and try to sell us this dude. Now, he was sharp in his first year, when he came in to relieve Eli. He done regressed because, like I've been telling Giant fans, a lot of them been agreeing. He is not clutch. I don't trust Daniel Jones when the game is on the line. He is not clutch. Not clutch at all. And now your boy, Leonard Williams, actually been stepping up this year.
Oh, that's good. He's not bad either. It's just he didn't fit what we was doing, I think. He
got like about 5 or 6 sacks this year so far.
Yeah.
He's been playing. Now, I'll give Gettleman a little bit of a pass on that, but not too much, because I still think he gave up too much to obtain him. But his other picks, we ain't even going to discuss the DeAndre Baker debacle. We ain't even discuss that. But Gettleman is he's 9-27 since he became our GM. And the way I see it, we ain't progressed under him. So I would do it like this. If we finish the season 1-15 or even 2-14, he got to go. But Mara is so stubborn that Mara the type of just be like, you know what, let's just give it one more year. And I'm like, why? I don't trust him with the number 2 pick and just making another dumb pick.
Right. Yeah, it's that's one thing I got to give Joe Douglas. He get picks out of people, that for Jamal Adams, he got a boatload of picks. I was like, wow, like he got 2 first-rounders and a 3rd rounder this year. I think that was it. And and 3rd rounder this year. So we got 2 first-round picks. That's one good thing that's one thing I'm not totally depressed is we got a lot of draft capital going forward to try and right the ship. So that's attractive for a future head coach. And but that's our situation is strange because Adam Gase actually bought Joe Douglas in, and I think Joe Douglas is gonna end up firing Adam Gase. So it's like strange, man. But like I watched a few videos, and there's one dude who's like he got some inside information. He said that as soon as Joe Douglas showed up, he always kind of wanted Gase to be out of here, because if you think about it, they were together in Chicago when Gase was the offensive head coordinator, and Joe Douglas was in the head office or whatever. And people but so far Mekhi Becton was his first pick. That's worked out good. He's been good when he's been healthy. He picked this dude Ashton Davis, safety, like in the 4th round. We could have got another wide receiver, and he ain't been that great. But Denzel Mims is finally playing. He's looking okay. So I wasn't expecting much this year anyway, but we just need these young dudes to develop, man. And he trimmed down a lot of the route, which is good. He's totally revamping. It's not patchwork, which is good. You get all these bums out of here, and you build it from fresh from the start, with your own people. So I don't think he's going anywhere because they signed him to a 6-year contract, and this was his first draft. And now here's the weird twist to this whole thing. The election actually has an effect on what happens with our team. And this is how. Because Woody Johnson, Trump made him the ambassador to the UK. So he's been in the UK ever since Trump went in office. So he ain't been running the team. His brother been running the team into the fucking ground, even further to the ground than he usually is. So, Adam Gase I think he got 2 years left on his contract or whatever. So they'll have to pay him, you fire him or whatever. And I think that's why they haven't fired him, because they waiting for Woody to come back. And I'm not too worried about Joe Douglas but I definitely, Gase, you're going to have to hit the road, bro. Or it's going to be a whole lot of pissed off people,
Some coordinators that, shouldn't have been a head coach,
Oh, man, he's horrible, man. It's just like if you I could see if he was a defensive coordinator, but it's like the offense done got worse since this motherfucker showed up. We had Todd Bowles was a defensive head coach, and the offense was better than it is now. What kind of shit is that? You know what I mean? So it's
crazy, yeah.
It's like, what the hell, man? And currently, so now just all we got left is the current situation. We 0-8. We trying to hit 0-16. So there it is, people. Tankathon got us number 1, 0-8. Giants number 2. Jacksonville. I need Jacksonville with another game. Actually, they play Houston today, so
it could go either way, but I think Houston might take that.
Oh, I do too. But I mean, either one of those, we get them off our tail. We trying to create, in case we do fuck around and win a game by mistake. I need some separation, a little separation, because after this, the only 2 games that worry me is this game on Monday, and then we play these motherfuckers the last game of the season too. Because Belichick, he ain't stupid. Like, he might mess around and allow us to win the game just so we don't get Trevor Lawrence. So he been messing us up for years. But even in that case, I just don't see. I think Cam's pride to be more than because Cam trying to get paid. Cam only on a 1-year contract, so he got to show something.
Number 1 pick for a minute, Thor, because I got a couple of Jet fans at my job too.
Okay.
Now, right now, y'all in good position to get it.
Yeah.
Now, what's to say? Are you worried? Are you worried that Trevor Lawrence could possibly pull a Eli Manning?
I don't. Here's a couple reasons why. One, especially if they win. I know Clemson lost last night to Notre Dame, but they still in it. If they win the national championship, then I'm really not worried about it, because it's like, what else can he do? In college, he done won 2 national championships. He himself has only lost 1 game. And then 2, the thing about it is, if you look at our situations, all the stuff I just said, yes, in the past, we've been a bad run organization. Ain't no question about that. Our coach is horrible, but he's not going to be here next year. Here's the key. They got to get the right guy. And I'll talk about candidates in a minute. And if they do, then I'm really not worried about it, because then we'll have the number 1 pick. We got 2 picks in the first round. We got like 5 picks before into the third round. So that's a lot of early picks. And then next year we got same thing, same situation really, because we traded away a few people and got more picks. So we got a lot of capital to build a winner. So that's why I think if he puts all that into the equation, then the future looks bright, especially with him. You know what I mean? And we do have a few building blocks. Like Quentin Williams, I'm so glad they didn't trade Quentin Williams. They was talking about trading him. I was like, please don't trade him because he's definitely a building block that we can use on the defensive side. You know, we got so very few of them. So basically, the only two dudes really, since they're gonna get rid of Sam Darnold, is Mekhi Becton and Quentin Williams. And then because I think they'll let Marcus May go probably because he don't deserve no big money. You know, so he's a safety. You can replace a safety. You know. Because you see Jamal Adams, he been hurt the whole season. So, you know, I think we made out like a bandit on them. But and then plus the third reason is it's New York. If you become a star in New York, then the largest media in the country, then yeah, and then here's the third reason. And you may think this is strange, Joe Namath. Like this, like when I look at Trevor Lawrence, I literally think Joe Namath. I'm like, this dude reminds you of Joe Namath. Like, he's good looking dude, smooth, sharp, everything. You know, this dude got a ton of chicks. You know what I mean? Just you just see that. I'm like, bro, if this motherfucker show up and become new age Joe Namath, man, that's endorsements out the wazoo. You know what I mean? So I'm not worried about it all. They can say, and you know, because you had Roddy White, oh, he shouldn't leave, because he want him to go to Atlanta. That's why they doing that. You know, you got all these people. People don't want them to come to us because we've been such a bad run organization. But if you got to think about it, if you are the number one pick, you can go to a bad team either way. Now, would you rather go to a bad team that don't have as many? Because I look at the top five, you know, we really got the most picks going forward than anybody. You know, plus, I forgot about this. We got 80 million under the cap next year. You know what I mean? So it's like we're set up for success. You know what I mean? So I think when you factor all that shit in, I'm not even worried about it. You know, so
that's kind of the same thing with us. You know, we got our coach. I like Judge. Judge is definitely proven that, you know, he's going to be the coach of us for the future because we have played better under him. We just don't know how to finish games.
Right.
So when I look at what we're in, I still think we need a stud defensive end. So all this talk, everybody, all these Giant fans, well, yeah, we need to go ahead and get Trevor. I'm like, y'all need to stop. We're not getting Trevor. They're not going to go to, you know, Daniel Jones out the pasture yet. They're going to give him at least another year or two, you know, to come through. So Giant fans need to just get that out your heads. We're not getting rid of Daniel Jones. We need a defensive end, and we need a playmaker at wide receiver. Because I'm going to tell you something about the receivers we got now. First of all, I ain't going to get too much on my rant, but don't even get me started on Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram I'm not even saying no more because if I get too wound up, I'm gonna end up saying some stuff I don't want to say. I just want him out of here. Sterling Shepard is not a playmaker. He's more of a possession receiver, but he don't separate real good. And that's what we need. We need a receiver that can separate. And we could have had it, but again, Gettleman, the fine GM that he is, went a different direction. You got Andrew Thomas, and that's
who ain't played well. That's
a project in the works. But when I see somebody like DK Metcalf and Claymore up there performing like they did, and we could have picked them, you know, I get a little warmed up. So, but we need a playmaker at wide receiver, and we need another safety because, like a cornerback, also because of the DeAndre Baker, you know, debacle and what he did on, you know, in the offseason and everything. Yeah. So those are my two needs for the G-Man moving forward, a defensive end and a playmaker. And I think if Daniel Jones can have a playmaker at wide receiver and a tight end that can block and catch, he might be all right. So I'm not going to close the book on Daniel yet. Like, he ain't clutch, but hopefully he can fix that.
Yeah, that's something I think about. He picked Andrew Thomas first, like he was the first tackle taken.
Yeah.
Andrew Thomas. So he had his pick, everybody. And he chose Andrew Thomas. That's messed up. Like, because, you know, I ain't tooting my own horn, but I think Becton, to me, him and the dude who went to Tampa Bay came from Iowa. Mm-hmm. They've been the two best. And Becton, he was the last one picked. Like, we had to take our take out, what was left over, and because they would think, and I'm so glad. That's why I give Joe Douglas credit. I'm so glad he did not pick CD Lamb, because CD Lamb he been kind of suspect in my opinion.
He been kind of up and down. It's been sometimes he's been spectacular, and then it's just sometimes he like, well, he just another receiver. He definitely ain't no DK Metcalf.
No, hell no. Metcalf, he better pick last year though, didn't he?
I think he's a rookie this year. I think Metcalf is a rookie.
Is he? I thought it was last year. Okay.
Claymore doing his thing in Pittsburgh. And
yeah. He we could have had him too, but they picked that Ashton Davis dude. So but here's the Giants' schedule going forward. So you got the Washington football team, the Bengals, the Cardinals. They come to you. Now, Ravens.
The Washington game, I think we can win that. But I'm gonna tell you something about Cincinnati, man.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised we lose that game because Joe Burrow,
nice. I know. And that's another reason I think Trevor Lawrence will come, because he saw what happened with because there was some talks that Joe Burrow didn't want to go to the Bengals, and he ended up going, and it looked like it's gonna work out. They need another draft or two, but you see how a good quarterback can turn you around, can give you hope going forward. So that's why the Trevor Lawrence stuff, I'm not really worried about it. If I could see him, I don't see him staying in school, but and another thing is, okay, you can sit up here all day and say you don't want to play, but if we still pick you, what the hell are you gonna do? You want to get paid, you better come play, because we could just hold you there until whenever. You know what I mean? So I really ain't worried about it.
Like you said, Eli, he got picked by the Chargers and he didn't want to go, and then he kind of forced that trade.
Yeah, I feel you.
But
I think the thing with that is that one, and because Elway did it too, but I think those were different times. Like now, shit is this. Then you got like COVID, and you need to make you some paycheck. You might have people, family members suffering or something. So you need to get paid. You ain't got time for no BS. You know what I mean? So I think especially if we do, let me get into. Well, hold on, let me finish y'all. So y'all got the Ravens coming up, the Eagles again, Seahawks. That might be kind of tough. The Browns, that's winnable. OBJ not gonna be playing though. And then Cowboys last game, y'all can serve them. So I see a couple more wins on
I think we can finish up at least. I'm gonna say 4 and
12.
Yeah, I think we can win at least a couple more games. We should be able to we'll beat Dallas. I think.
Y'all should have won the first time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We should have won, but like I said, we don't know how. Because Smith brought this up, and I had noticed that. I said, you know what? I noticed the same thing. We have not got blown out in any of the losses that we've had. We've been competitive in all the games we've been in this year. So that's why I say, we can squeak out a couple of more wins, and then probably drop us a little bit in the doggone draft. But like I said, all this talk about Giants getting Trevor Lawrence, I'm like, y'all need to chill.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, if he is in New York, he will be playing for the Jets.
But I tell you what, y'all probably won't get Trevor, but Justin Fields is a possibility. Like, especially if they get a new GM.
Won't happen. So? Why? And I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I'm just gonna be real with you. The New York Giants do not want a black quarterback. I know we y'all had Geno Smith.
Yeah.
But Geno Smith won't no starter either. He was a backup. They're not going to pick Justin Fields. I'm telling you that right now. Fields will go, I believe, to Atlanta. That's a perfect spot for Fields.
You know what? I didn't even think about that, because it was talk about what's this dude Washington got that they just benched? They was talking about he might have gone to the Giants, but they picked Daniel Jones. You might be right. Yeah. So Dwayne Haskins. They was talking to Dwayne Haskins when he was coming out, because I think he was from Jersey or whatever, but he moved to like the DC area. And you might be right about that.
So getting out of Washington after the end of the season.
Yeah, Rodney, he can't stand that dude, because he a Washington fan, and every week he was like, get this bum out of here, so So this is our schedule. This it's definitely possible. You know, if we mess around and lose this game Monday, which I think we will, because Flacco playing, and then the Dolphins, we lost to them last time, 24-0. That's a loss. Seahawks, nothing need to be said there. Browns, I think we lose it. We can lose that one. You know, we just so depleted, man. The Chargers, that's when these two games kind of worry me a little bit. For some reason, the Chargers, they be kind of selling. They had a battle with Jacksonville. So
Chargers can be one of them types, you know, the game they're supposed to win, they'll end up losing.
Yeah. But the good thing is we go out there, so that's good. And then Raiders, for some reason, we be playing good against the Raiders, you know. Yeah. But I think hopefully, you know, these two scare me the most. I ain't gonna trip. The Rams, we should get served. And God, heaven forbid, if we mess around and be 0-15 and get to this last damn game and fuck around and win, I would. Oh my God, jeez and Pete.
You know, regarding that Ram team, the Rams should win that, but the Rams kind of suspect too.
Yeah, you're right.
A couple of games that they should have won, so that's another game. You know, if chances are. I still think y'all gonna go 0-16, but I would not be surprised y'all end up going at least like 3-13. Because I think I see at least 3 games up there y'all can
It's
win.
possible, yeah. You ain't kidding. So we'll see, man. That's all. I watch these Jet dudes every week, and they all scared of this game tomorrow that they might fuck around and win because they all scared of Belichick going pull some shit and pull some people out the game or something crazy. But
they're trying to say Belichick might can enter the Trevor Lawrence race. So,
yeah, they only got 2 wins, but I don't know. I don't know what the hell their schedule look like. Shit. I mean, not that they, but you got to remember that this year is 7 spots for the playoffs because they added a extra playoff, extra wild card team. So they can still get in. New England Patriots. Hell, y'all schedule look like Belichick. So here we go. Just curious. It's weird how you got to get into the DNA of this shit. So let's see. They got what the fuck is it? They got us. Ooh, the Ravens. That's a beating.
Yeah.
And then Texans, they can win that one. Cardinals, that's winnable, I guess. Chargers, who knows? I mean, the way they've been playing, you never know. But Rams, they basically play the same people we do. So I don't know. I guess it's
able to win, but Cam, man, Cam's best days are behind him.
Yeah, I think everybody knew that, but I think you know it really when he got COVID, that's when it started going downhill for him. You know, after that, he was playing all right before that, but then after that, he been kind of, you know. So they do need another quarterback. But the weird thing about them is, for so long, they rarely ever picked in the first round. They would always trade their first round pick and get more picks, and then they just keep trading down. They have a whole bunch of second and third round picks, you know. So I think now they better mess around and start picking in the first round. You know what I mean? So
it's now basically. So that being said, who you think would be the right coach?
Okay, so I got a few candidates, right? I'm gonna say my number one for the end. What's this guy in Tennessee, Arthur Smith? He's the offensive coordinator. He has worked miracles with Tannehill. You know what I mean? We all thought Tannehill was a pile of heaping garbage, and he messed around, went down there. They paid this man $20 million a year because he been balling out. So I think if we were to keep Sam Darnold, he would be the guy I would want. But since that's not that's what we're all hoping doesn't happen. I don't really want him. Then they talking about the guy from Kansas City, Eric Bieniemy. Now I think, you know, he's the coordinator, but he doesn't really call the plays. So, you know, Andy Reid's still calling the plays, but you look at like the coaching tree, Usually Andy Reese-Tree does pretty good because you got Doug Peterson in Philly and a few other dudes. So I would trust that, but I just think for our situation with us starting all over again, I would rather have a guy that with a little bit more experience and that you've seen him do it on a few teams before. And so my number one guy that I want is Greg Roman from offensive coordinator from Baltimore, because he was a coordinator with Kaepernick in San Francisco, and you saw how that turned out. Yeah. He was in Buffalo for a while with Rex Ryan. He was kind of there, but now you've seen him work wonders with Lamar Jackson. Yeah. So, and the thing I like about him is he tailors his offense to whoever he has. He doesn't just like try to run the same system no matter what, no matter if you got the pieces or not. We still gonna do this. So, because you do that, then often shit don't work. But I think, Trevor Lawrence, he's definitely not as athletic as Lamar Jackson is, but he got a little mobility to him. So I think he could tailor an offense that would fit Trevor Lawrence's game, perfectly. Plus, I think this is a side note, and I think this is why Parcells was so successful on his stint with the Giants and the Jets. Parcells is a Jersey guy, so is Greg Roman. And you got to understand how shit works in Jersey and New York and all that shit. So I think that's our guy. And there's a relationship there. Because Joe Douglas, he worked under Ozzie Newsome in Baltimore. And so there's a connection. They were him and Greg Roman were in the system at the same time briefly, but they were there. So I think he's the dude I would target. Plus, Bieniemy, he came in last time, when we interviewed, and they didn't hire him. So that could hurt their chances with him. Maybe not, but it could. I mean, nobody else hired him either. So And then you got now here's a wild card name, and this is who everybody thinks is the next coach of the. Everybody looking for young, hot-minded dude like the dude with the Rams. Came from the Skins. Joe Brady is the offensive coordinator for Carolina. He was Joe Burrow's coordinator in LSU, and ever since they showed up in Carolina, Teddy Bridgewater been going off. Yeah, and they got our old wide receiver Robbie Anderson, and who we should have kept. I think that was another mistake that Joe Douglas let him go. I think he was just trying to get rid of salary so he can build his own whatever. But we should have kept Robbie Anderson. So you can see he's worked wonders with him. But I think just he might be a great coach. I just think it's too much of a risk because of we building from the ground up, and is he the guy you want for that kind of project? I just think we need somebody a little bit more seasoned, and I think Greg Roman, that's our guy. In my opinion.
What would you say if they try to go for a big name and they want to get somebody like, I'll throw one at you. What about Jim Harbaugh?
Yeah, I'm starting to think that the game is passing him by. I mean, if you can't mess around and go to a big program like Michigan, okay, even if you lose to Ohio State every year, that's fine. But now you mess around and you losing. Who they lose to yesterday? Somebody, Northwestern or somebody like that. It was somebody, and they like 1-3. So it's like I don't know Jim Harbaugh. It's just I don't. Plus, to be starting out what we trying to start with, I just don't think he would be. I wouldn't want him. I wouldn't be pissed off if they got him because he'd be way better than what we have now. But I just think for what we're trying to do, I just don't. I mean, he's built programs before because the 49ers weren't that good once he got there, But I'm just thinking, has he been? I'd rather have his brother than I would him. What I mean? That's just my opinion. I'd rather have John than I would have Jim. But if he came, I wouldn't be upset. So
maybe a lot of organizations like to go with the big name, but
yeah,
really that's a smart move now. Go with the young, the young coach, the young hot offensive coordinator, and especially when you're building from the ground up. So, and that's what we did because I actually back then I had wanted Harbaugh to come to the Giants. I was like, yeah, Harbaugh, could get us in the right direction.
Right.
And then they went and got, Judge and everybody, including me. I was like, man, come on, man. Y'all pick a special teams coach. But keep in mind, John Harbaugh started.
Yeah.
And look how he did with the Ravens and stuff. So, and like I said, Judge improved himself. I think, Judge is going to be, real good for us for a long time to come. So really, you do got to go for that young coordinator, because that just seems like, the way to go right now, especially if you're going to bring in, a young quarterback.
See, I can agree with that, because you can see a big difference between y'all and us. Like, for instance, last week, y'all played the best team in the NFC, and you were in it down to the last snap. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If we mess around with a play Tampa Bay, that shit would have been over by the second quarter. Oh. You know what I mean? And that's just the truth. That's just the truth. It's just, at least give effort. I mean, I don't want them to give no effort now, because, what we're trying to get, but it's just, you can just see the difference in both teams play. Ultimately, the results are almost the same far as the record wise, but you can in the teams play, you can, and actually if that line held up offensively, I think Jason Garrett ain't done a bad job with the offense. You just need, they lost Saquon Barkley, so that's the heart and soul of your offense.
Now, a lot of Giants, it's been a couple of Giant fans been saying we should explore the possibility of trading Saquon. That a lot of people don't think he got a lot of heart. And I'm like, I think he got heart, but what I'm scared about with Saquon, he's shown he's injury prone.
Yeah.
He suffered another major injury, and I'm wondering, is he going to come back the same like he was before he suffered that injury?
Right.
And I look at Giant fans, that I talk to on my job and online, they're saying, you know what? I think we should explore the possibility of trading and get some draft picks. And I'm like, Saquon is a once in a lifetime player. You know what I'm saying? He can be, I'm not going to say he is, he can be this generation's Barry Sanders just based upon how he has performed when he was healthy.
Right.
My only issue with him is he going to be the same when he comes back?
Right.
That's my issue, and that's what I'm worried about. But as far as trading him, I wouldn't trade him.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't now, because he's hurt. So somebody would try to stiff you on what they would give you for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely keep him as far as that. Like, now, if somebody offered me like a whole bunch of like Jamal Anderson kind of style, then Jamal Adams style, like 2 first-round picks and all this other shit, then I'd think about it, but no, I wouldn't trade him either, but I just think now I really wouldn't trade him, because now, as far as running backs go, people don't think running backs are that valuable, because we were trying to get rid of Le'Veon Bell, and nobody bit, and we were just talking about 3rd, 4th round pick, and nobody wanted to do it. Mostly because his salary is huge, but
yeah,
yeah, I'd keep him, get rid of him,
It's not a running back driven league like it was, during the 90s.
Back in the day. Yeah.
Back in the day of Emmett, Barry, and all that. It's a QB league now. They want points, so it's QB and wide receivers. Those are 2 more valuable picks for the running backs now. So
yeah, because I think everybody running these spread offenses and 5 and 6 wide receivers and timing offenses and all that kind of stuff. So
coming out of college now, more league ready than what they were back in the day.
Right.
Because of that.
Yeah, who was it? Parcells said we just get what college gives us. So, everybody's running like these new systems and everything. And you starting to see some of that stuff transition to the NFL, like scheme wise. You starting to see more shotgun formations and all that kind of stuff, like they run in college. So it's yeah. And then you even see a few people, I'm not gonna say like the full house, you'll see them run out like these wishbone kind of shit. I'm like, wait, what are they doing? And that's like, the Ray, like Greg Roman and them, Lamar Jackson, they run that kind of stuff every now and then. I ain't saying that's their bread and butter offense, but you starting to see more college kind of stuff happening in the league, which is crazy, because that shit would have never flown back in the day, with the LTs and all them dudes in the league.
You would actually get basically joked if you was trying to run.
Oh yeah.
So now it seems like it's reversed. NFL getting college plays while college is getting the NFL plays.
Right. Yeah.
Like what I just said, a lot of these QBs that are coming in now are more league ready than what they were back in the day. Because like a perfect example, Burrow is performing good right now.
Yeah.
Really, there ain't really no excuse for somebody like Hatkins and not to be performing. It's like you should be ready with all the NFL formations that they're throwing out in college, because a lot of coordinators that were in the NFL are now going to college again.
Yeah, they sure are. Matter of fact, that I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's what's scared. Because when we pick Darnold, a lot of people say, because of Mark Sanchez, people are like, oh, we got another USC quarterback, and it's weird because it's starting to trend that way. Like, you don't want to get certain players of positions from certain schools, because you go to Ohio State. We were just talking about Justin Fields. Now, Dwayne Haskins, people's complaint about him in college was that he always had like 2 and 3 wide open people because of their scheme, like because of the spread shit that everybody's running. And it's college, so somebody was always open. So that's why he piled up all these stats. And you see now that he's in the league, their fears are coming in fruition because people ain't always open no more, and so he was struggling, so they had to pull him. So it's like, do you really want Justin Fields because they running the same scheme and somebody's always open, and then when you get to the league, he might struggle, and that's why I think for us it will be a tragedy if we don't get Trevor Lawrence, because we've been waiting so long for somebody. We haven't had. It's 50 years since Joe Namath, and I done went through some bums at quarter. Testaverde, he was all right. That 1 year, 98. We went to AFC Championship. Yeah. I kind of liked Chad Pennington. I thought he was cool, but they messed around and got rid of him. But after that, it's been Sanchez and Geno Smith, and now this dude. So it's like, I just need us to make it through these 8 games and finally, please, Jesus, finally get a franchise quarter. Because this dude, to me, you can just look at him and tell he has whatever it is, he's got it. Because he's playing the Alabama. Did you see that game they played Alabama last year?
Yeah.
They beat the brakes off. I was like, youngin, am I seeing this shit? And it was like, this year they lost to LSU. I mean, LSU was just like nobody could beat them. It was like, so. But and then you think about that's the only game he's lost. In that's the only game he's lost. So and I just think he's got that. He got that championship special elite kind of stink to him.
He definitely has the look. He definitely has, and he shows it by how he plays on the field.
Right.
And I tell you what, the league better hope. Well, I shouldn't say they better hope, but if they decide, if everything kind of eases up and they can have, people come in, and they start to have draft, fans come in, I shudder to think what would happen if y'all don't pick Trevor Lawrence or something.
They will. No, they will. I ain't even worried about that. I ain't even worried about it.
I'll never forget that year back in '94. That's when y'all had Kotite as the head coach.
Yeah.
Now I forgot who y'all wanted, but everybody wanted him. It was a big name. Kotite ended up taking Brady, the tight end.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Jet lost their mind.
Oh yeah. It would go down like this. It wouldn't even make it that far. If they were not going to pick him, they wouldn't keep the pick. So it wouldn't make it to the podium. They would mess around and trade down and it'd be done. That would be done before the actual draft. So if they make it, if the commissioner get up there and say with the first pick with the New York Giants, you can guarantee it's going to be Trevor Lawrence, No So I ain't even concerned about that shit, So it's just the main thing now, we got to get the pick. And that alone, with us with the number one pick, will attract head coaches to us. You know what I mean? So I just think everything hinges on us getting this pick, or else we just gonna be the same old, same old. You know what I mean? I think this is our final chance. This is our real chance to get a generational quarterback and be special. Finally, you know what I mean? So
I tell you what, that's gonna be some. Once y'all start to come up, y'all get Lawrence, and y'all start building the right way. I can see some wars between y'all and Cincinnati, because Cincinnati can come up. And then,
Joe Burrow, I was trying to think of who he reminded me of, like, from the past and stuff. I don't know. It's
he reminds me a little bit of Aikman. A little bit.
Of who? Peyton?
Aikman.
I was gonna say that too. I was like Troy Aikman, yeah.
Yeah, that's who he reminds me. He reminds me of Troy Aikman as far as his pedigree. He's got that Aikman style. I think his arm is stronger than Aikman's.
Yeah, no question.
But that's who he reminds me of, Troy Aikman.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, nice. And the thing is, some dudes, it's funny how some dudes get it faster than other dudes do. You know what I mean? He's basically shown up, and the rest of this team, the defense or whatever might be a little suspect, but he's putting up numbers like within the first 5-6 games. And I'm hoping that, because they ain't won that many games, but I'm hoping they keep their head coach for their sake, because I think they starting to make a rapport. You know what I mean? So hopefully they'll be patient, and they add a few more pieces. But yeah, Joe Burrow and people were questioning that. They were saying, okay, well, he's only had one season of success, and the year before that, if he'd have came out, he'd have been a 5th round pick at best, and all this other kind of crap. So, sometimes that's all it takes is a year. And Trevor, I was thinking about Trevor Lawrence too. Well, who the hell does Trevor Lawrence remind me of? It's the damn show ain't Tom Brady. Because this dude got a little bit more grit to him, and he's a little bit more. You know what I'd hate to say? I'd have to say Elway.
I could see that a little bit. Yeah, I could see a little Elway in him.
Yeah, I had to say Elway. So we can fuck around and get John Elway. I'll take that to the bank 10 out of 10.
Comparison. Yeah, I'll even go further and say just a tad bit of Marino. Just a tad bit.
Well, you know why I didn't say Marino? Because Trevor Lawrence is a little bit more mobile. And in Marino, you never saw Marino running. No. You know what I mean? So, but I
would say he's like Marino, but mobility, he's got that Elway mobility.
Elway, yeah.
He's got both of those, QBs as far as mixed in with him, which that ain't bad. That's not a bad comparison at all.
Yeah. So fingers crossed, but
fingers crossed for y'all. And as far as we go,
Yeah, what's your closing thoughts on G-Men going forward?
Daniel Jones, like I said, he ain't clutch. I hope he can fix that. So we'll give him, we'll give him at least about another year or two, and don't work out, and we just gonna have to go another direction. But right now, it's the Daniel Jones show. So, but Joe Judge, I'm with Joe Judge. That's my coach.
I agree with you. Yeah, Adam Gase, see you later, my brother. But if you get us the number one pick, we'll be grateful. So, keep taking them L's, brother. Keep taking them L's. But we appreciate y'all joining us, and enjoy your NFL Sunday, and check out all the games. And we catch y'all in the near future. We do another cast here and there. If some shit pop up, we try to get our third wing on here. So everybody be cool, man. Have a good NFL Sunday. Peace out.